Welcome to this explainer. I am beyond pumped to have you here today because we are talking about what is, without a doubt, the single most anticipated game of the entire decade, Grand Theft Auto 6. We're finally heading back to those neon-drenched streets of Vice City. We're going to experience this totally brand new Bonnie and Clyde style dynamic with our new protagonists, Jason and Lucia. But as you look at your gaming rig sitting on your desk right now, you really have to ask yourself, is it actually ready for the biggest launch in PC gaming history? Well, before we can even dive into the hardware you're going to need to bring those gorgeous Vice City sunsets to life, we've got to address the elephant in the room. It is literally the ultimate question on every single PC gamer's mind right now. When do we actually get to play it? Are we going to be out there causing chaos alongside the console gamers on day one? Okay, let's dive into this. Here's the blueprint for today's explainer. First, the console-first strategy. Then, why PC gets delayed. After that, we'll cover the massive upgrades from previous games, predict those PC specs, and finally, break down the console versus PC experience. Starting off with Section 1, the console-first strategy. Let's separate the hard facts from the speculation right out of the gate. Rockstar Games has officially confirmed that GTA 6 will launch on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S on November 19, 2026. We are literally counting down the months to that massive console launch. But notice what's glaringly missing from that official announcement? Yeah, a PC version. Right now, there is absolutely zero official word on a PC launch date. So if we take a step back and look at Rockstar's release history, a very clear, completely undeniable pattern starts to emerge. Think back to GTA 5. That released on consoles first, and the PC version came much later. And well, the totally unprecedented success of that staggered release cemented this playbook for Rockstar. They turned around and did the exact same thing with Red Dead Redemption 2, dropping it on consoles first and following up with a PC port after months of waiting. So, based directly on this track record, PC gamers should realistically expect to wait 1 to 2 years after that 2026 console launch.
Moving on to Section 2, why PC gets delayed.
Look, I know. I completely hear you. It is incredibly frustrating to be a PC gamer, and here you might have to wait years to play the most hyped game ever. The crucial point is that this delay comes down to 3 calculated business and technical factors. First up, optimization. Unlike a console, which is just fixed hardware, the PC ecosystem is basically a wild west of thousands of different hardware combinations. Rockstar needs that extra time to make sure the game doesn't just crash on everyone's specific setup. Second, it's a brilliant 2-stage marketing strategy. They sell to the massive console market first, which buys them crucial time to refine the next iteration of GTA Online, and then they hit the PC ecosystem for a second massive wave of sales. And third, piracy. Delaying the PC release historically helps them reduce the impact of early piracy on that critical day one launch window.
All right, Section 3, upgrades from previous games.
Okay, it's time to build some serious hype. Because when this game finally does hit your PC, it is going to push your hardware to its absolute breaking point, compared to anything we've played in GTA 5. The technological powerhouse driving all of this is a heavily, and I mean heavily upgraded version of Rockstar's proprietary Rage engine. This is the beast under the hood responsible for those unbelievable details we've been seeing in the trailers, bringing Vice City to life with unprecedented cinematic fidelity. We are talking hyper-realistic lighting, incredibly dense city environments that actually feel alive, and a highly advanced physics system. And honestly, it goes way beyond just spectacular lighting. We are expecting a massive open-world map with multiple regions, totally dynamic weather systems, and highly detailed building interiors you can actually explore. But the real game changer here is how the world reacts to you. You're going to see advanced AI where NPCs react dynamically and realistically to the absolute chaos you cause on the streets as Jason and Lucia. Pair all of that with completely upgraded driving mechanics, refined combat, and incredibly smooth animations, and you start to see why the hardware demands we're about to talk about are so insanely high. Which brings us to Section 4, predicting the PC specs. Now, what's really interesting about this breakdown is, well, keeping in mind that there are absolutely no official PC specs released by Rockstar yet, these are highly realistic estimates based directly on next-gen console performance. Let's see where your current rig falls, all right? For the absolute minimum tier, meaning you're just scraping by at 30 to 45 FPS on low settings, you're likely looking at an Intel i5 10th Gen or a Ryzen 5 3600 for the CPU, a GTX 1660 Super or RTX 2060 for your graphics card, and a baseline of 16 gigs of RAM. Now, if you want the recommended tier, hitting a smooth 60 FPS on high settings, you'll need an i7 12th Gen or Ryzen 7 5800X, a beefier RTX 3060 Ti or RX 6700 XT, and probably 16 to 32 gigs of RAM. And if you want that glorious 4K future-proof Ultra experience, yeah, you better be packing an i9 or Ryzen 7 7800X 3D and RTX 4070 or higher and a solid 32 gigs of RAM. And then we have to talk about this massive number, 150 gigabytes plus. Let this serve as a serious wake-up call for your storage situation. Because of the sheer scale of the map, the ultra-high-resolution textures, and the absolute density of these environments, GTA 6 is going to take up an unbelievable amount of space. You might honestly have to clear out half your Steam back catalog just to make room for this single behemoth. And because of that massive file size, an NVMe SSD is going to be basically non-negotiable. If you are, somehow, in this day and age, still running your AAA games off an old-school spinning hard drive, you literally need to upgrade immediately. An incredibly fast SSD is absolutely essential for fast loading times and making sure those highly detailed textures stream in smoothly when you're rocketing through Vice City at 100 miles an hour.
Section 5. The console versus PC experience.
Consider this the light at the end of the tunnel, guys. Yes, it is a horribly long wait for the PC port, but when we compare the two platforms, the difference is staggering. The console experience is tied to fixed hardware, right? We're expecting a locked 30 FPS cinematic mode or maybe a 60 FPS performance mode that actively sacrifices visual fidelity. But the PC experience, that is going to be the definitive, absolute most advanced way to play. We're talking uncapped frame rates of 120 FPS or higher, stunning 4K and maybe even 8K support, and totally custom graphics settings. And most importantly, the massive community mod support. That alone is going to create the ultimate sandbox for the GTA 6 story and completely transform the game over the next decade.
So let's quickly recap the bottom line. The PC release is highly likely to be delayed 1 to 2 years after the initial console launch. You absolutely need to expect demanding next-gen hardware specs. 16 gigabytes of RAM and a massive NVMe SSD are going to be your absolute minimums to even get in the door. But your patience will be rewarded because the PC version is going to feature those glorious uncapped frames and endless community mods. The leap from GTA 5 to the cinematic heights of GTA 6 is going to be absolutely legendary. Fans have every right to be this hyped, so I leave you with this final thought. Is your hardware truly ready right now, or are you going to be upgrading to get that ultimate GTA 6 experience? Take a really hard look at your setup, get ready for the biggest PC gaming launch in history, and start preparing today. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and we will see you on the next one.